Hi, I'm Sarah Stockham, and I help people to raise their natural energy, for them to feel encouraged in some respect. And friend, I want you to know, if you want to feel better, I invite you to take 15 minutes, just 15 minutes, and go to your closet and just organize one item in your closet. This sounds perhaps like I'm asking you to do work, but what I have discovered after helping so many people energetically is that our outside life reflects our inside life, and our inside life reflects our outside life. And so in this space, 15 minutes, I'm not asking you to take everything out of your closet. I'm not asking you to go through every piece in 15 minutes. I'm asking you, encouraging you to choose one thing. And so perhaps the one thing is going to be all of the shirts that are hanging up, and to go through and touch and feel every single one of these. My daughter years ago had this book by Marie Kondo, and one night, all of a sudden at 10 o'clock at night, we began to hear her closet doors opening and closing, and she was obviously doing a lot of stuff in her work in her room. And so we went downstairs just to see what was going on. And she had taken everything out and was being very thoughtful and purposeful about what she was choosing to put back into her closet. I will tell you that watching her life shift and change over the next week was amazing to me. And so I thought, I'm going to give this a try. So if you want to do the whole thing all in one set because you have the time, feel free. For some people, that's going to be way too much energy and way too demanding of a job. But if you choose to do 8 inches of a closet, or set a timer for 15 minutes, or choose one thing to work on, shoes, and do just that. Here is what I want you to think about as you are doing this. Is this something that I feel good about wearing? Now, this is not something that I'm going to feel good about wearing when I lose 5 pounds. It's not something I'm going to feel good about wearing when I am finally on vacation. It's not something I'm going to feel good about wearing finally when this is in this space, in this time. And I invite you to only put back into your closet the things that you enjoy wearing at this space and time. Now, I can already feel the objections. I can already feel the great concern of, what do I do with the other things? I can't possibly give those things away. I'd like to reframe this into 2 different parts. One is, what if there is somebody who is longing for, looking for exactly what you have that you are going to hold on to for someday? They have an immediate right now purpose to be able to use it. And if you gave it to Goodwill or a different organization, and that person had it in their hands, would highly impact their lives. The second part of the reframe is, what would it look like to put all of those things into a bag that you can't see into, and that you put it in your garage or another space and leave it there for 6 months. Now, I encourage you, if you're going to do this, to put 2 labels on it, or 1 label with 2 parts. One is things out of your closet, so you know what's actually in the bag. And the second one is the date, so that you can determine how that 6 months has passed. If over the course of the next 6 months, you find yourself looking for that favorite bright green shirt, and you find it in there and take it back and you start wearing it, that's great. That's fantastic. Do it. But at the end of the 6 months, if there's not one thing in there that you have longed for or that you've gone looking for, maybe it's okay to not open the bag and to go ahead and give that, donate it someplace. Again, there are others who could be using those things. And then there's this other place, this other group of things that's easy to give away. I'm somebody who has a deep affection and connectivity to things that were made by other people. And perhaps those people are no longer living. And so I feel this sense of responsibility to hold on to those things. I'm not going to tell you what to do, but part of my internal conversation is, if I'm not going to use it, if there isn't anybody else in my family who's going to use it, maybe it's time for me to put that also into a bag and to label that bag maybe for a year. Maybe I want to have a little bit more time with that. And then at the end of that time, perhaps open that bag and maybe just go through checking again to see if there's any connectivity with anybody else in the family. What I'm looking for is the energetic conversation. And if there are things in there that I need to hold on to, that's great. If there are things that are ready for me to give away, that's great. You see, friend, what I'm looking for is that neutral, that space of being able to say, these things are in my possession, but just because they're in my possession for the moment doesn't mean that they need to be or are required to be in my life 5 years from down the road. Loss happens unexpectedly. And I know this because I have a brother-in-law and sister-in-law who went through a house fire and lost so many things. Those things did not define their life. Sure, they mourned losing those things, but they also opened up space for new things to come into their life. So in this space and time of people choosing to live in tiny houses and to downsize and to do all of those things, I bring us back to the beginning of our conversation. Investing 15 minutes of your space and time will absolutely change that space of your closet. And that by doing that, there's going to create space and an openness that's different inside of your being. Know that you can do this, and I invite you to write your comments about how it felt after you do the work in the comments below. Blessings upon blessings.